Well, it's a little bit different. I don't actually say trust the media. What I say is don't blame the media for asking tough questions, because they're professionals and that's their job. So what we like to say is expect the tough questions, prepare for them, and use them as opportunities to explain to skeptics why we have such a strong case to make. So, for example, we're asked all the time, well, we have 11 million people, but they're lawbreakers. Aren't they bad people? So wait a minute, no, these are actually mostly good people who have been subjected to a really bad system. There's no line for them to get into. There's no line overseas to apply for a visa for low-skilled workers to get in the U.S., and yet there's been a tremendous demand over the last 15 years. The only way for them to come into the United States to work is to violate civil immigration law. In fact, people are surprised often, I speak to a lot of groups, I get this question, well, why don't they just go to the post office and line up and get their papers? And I explained that if there was a post office where you could line up and get papers, there'd be 11 million people in that line. In fact, young people, we had a big debate in the United States last year about the DREAM Act, something that would allow more than 1 million young people who grew up as Americans but don't have papers. So they usually were brought here in diapers, brought to the United States in diapers or at a young age, go to school, graduate, often valedictorians, talented people, want to go to university, want to serve in the military. They find out they don't have papers and their futures are really face a huge obstacle. So they organized themselves and pushed all of us and the movement and the U.S. Congress to take up their cause. We just narrowly failed to get it across the finish line, but it's begun to really transform the movement because these young people are so American and they stand up. And one kid that I work particularly closely with, Cesar Vargas, he speaks with a New York accent. He says, I'm from Brooklyn, I like the Yankees, I want to serve in the Marines, I tried to sign up after 9/11, I found out I didn't have papers, I've been going to school pledging the allegiance my entire life, give me a chance to be the American I already am. And it's been a very powerful way of showing that our broken immigration system has no flexibility, needs to be modernized, and we need to deal realistically and humanely with the presence of so many undocumented immigrants who live and work in communities throughout America. Of course, our opponents say they should be sent home or life should be made so miserable that they'll go home. So we have a really stark, polarized debate in the United States. Are we going to kick them out, or are we going to include them, make sure they meet certain criteria so they can become full Americans?